The machine was brought in 2010 in Kenya, the first machine in Africa. Chief guest was then Prime Minister Raila Odinga, sent his deputy, Musalia Mudavadi, check our website. The entire Ministry of Education, Professor Yecho Lueng, the assistant minister, was there. Professor Harry Kane, the education, I think the manager or something, was the top person there. They were there. Several people all over Africa, countries sent them. The president of the World Talent, the vice president, the administrator, I brought them, having been the first African, black African, to be Secretary General. And that machine was donated. It has been here in Kenya. So government knew. I was invited at Professor Douglas Odhiambo, the last review in education in this country, and then KIE, now KICD. They had the information. May God rest Professor Douglas Odhiambo's soul in eternal peace. He set out a committee to work with me. What they did in my office was not good. When I was in Istanbul, they made a visit. They were doing benchmarking. I didn't see the benchmarking. I was only told, hey, jadwangu kapa. Basi kasi yetu imeisha. This is my country. And when they did not understand what I'm explaining and they couldn't benefit, people took the shortcut to CBC. You need to know this. It has been a long journey.
Just right there. That's a very, very interesting news that you bring to our hearing. But at this point, I'm really concerned about, that machine, because if we have that machine, then, I mean, we have everything else in place. But you have mentioned something very important that I was yet to go into. I am looking at time also, and I would want the viewer to get the best out of you at their level. So this machine, you were talking about the curriculum, the CBC that now came in. Looking at our curriculum, it looks like it's all accommodative. You can actually talk about talent in it. You don't have to be an A student. We all know we cannot fit in an office. There are those that are going to get C's and D's, and this curriculum embraces all of them. And I wonder, those who are going to get D's, for lack of something tangible to do, maybe in this country, they're going to end up into, I know how to do this, I know how to do this, and go to the polytechnics that you were talking about. Is this curriculum that sufficient? As much as it may be or not, the machine discussion may be too long for this 1 hour show today. But how effective is this curriculum, and how can it help us develop and identify our talents? And once that is done, where does it place us? Because we have actors who have been in the industry. Right now, because of age and irrelevance, they're now home, sitting on their talents and doing nothing with it. If you look at our footballers in the other countries, if you look at the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, their talents have made livelihoods for them. They eat out of it, they dress and educate their children out of it. And that is not something that happens in Africa or in this country. So these people who are laid off because they're not A-star students, where are they supposed to find themselves? What are they supposed to do with the things that, they can do as extra curriculum other than just the math and the science? If everyone is going to be a professor, that's very nice. But those who cannot be, what are they? Are they useless people?
Right. Well said. Let me just put it this way. Did we need to change any curriculum? Maybe yes, maybe no. Curriculum has its own place. Academics has its place. And I will not say I should replace it.
Okay.
What we do is like saying hospitals have their place. Clinics have their places.
True.
But testing kits are very, very vital because they will make you do the right thing.
Yes.
So simply put, even if I had 844, and I had a way of knowing who these people would be in years to come, I would have done a better job.
Yes.
Instead of wasting billions of dollars writing a curriculum, actually recycling, because there's no new mathematics or new geography in Kenya. It's just changing the curve and people making some money. You know, that's the truth. I know they don't like me for saying this always straight like this. You know, I was even told...
No new mathematics, there's no new geography.
You tell me a new one that has come in. But we have new books and new publishing going on. That's a fact, and you don't need to be a professor to know that. But
that has changed.
You
Prof,
asked me,
has that changed?
Yeah. You asked me
changed?
You asked me a question about young people having innate values, known as talent, and doing nothing with them. But I want to scale up your thought to adults. You know, adults were once young people, and some of them were potentially gifted, were either not diagnosed or were misdiagnosed. Having mental health problems. I need to set you up to something happening socially today. Today, you can hear a 70-year-old raped a 5-year-old kid. You hear strange things going on.
Yes.
When you look at the background of these people, they are gifted. Today, in committing maximum prison, somebody uses a primitive phone to steal money from a bank or from your own phone.
I hope that's not talent.
I want you to get back to understand where we are, because sometimes we complain, but we've forgotten the root. Because people were either not diagnosed or were misdiagnosed, which we always do in our country, on this continent. We have CBC. Tell me, Betty, how shall we know the competence of a 6-7-year-old child in Kenya? By guesswork? If
by using the machine you talked about.
No, forget machine. They're not dealing with any machine. Tell me something. How did they plan it? Because they are not part of that. How, if they were planning to know the competence of 8-year-olds and they had no means of doing it, it means they were planning to guess it. And how do they guess it? The teachers should observe them. Children, what do you feel like doing? Parents, what do they tell you? That is our way of diagnosis. And then they taken to a stream. Take a child to the wrong stream for 6 years. Take many of them. What are you waiting for? What are we waiting for as a country or as a continent? Already suffering from the problems which you see visibly from the youth. What are you waiting for? I must tell you, the youth of this country must redefine who they are, must rediscover who they are. The way to rediscover yourself is to think like a guy who went to a university. Didn't feel for that course anyway, but the parents and the uncles couldn't let him leave it to go do something else. So he used his pocket money to buy a camera. He went to Uhuru Park, took some of the best shots for the guys hanging out there. Guys took numbers. Shortly, they posted on YouTube. He earned millions of viewers. Big TV stations had to drop people from big universities with big qualifications and went for this guy because his shots are just amazing. You understand what I'm talking? If such a guy met me earlier, and you should see our YouTube and see the testimonials, people who thought they were nothing, and we found something with them, including people born without growth hormones. The power of knowing human metrics. What will you do? We're a country, we're talking competence. We have autistic people. We have people with cerebral palsy. When you talk competence in Kenya, where do they fall? Unless we review and we rethink as a country, as a continent, where we're heading with our learning and social fabric. The things we keep talking, keep complaining, will keep coming. Any young person who was listening to me today, any parent who was listening to me, it starts with the first journey. You can't ask this question. What do I do when I'm this and this? It's like asking, what do I do when my foot is swollen? What do I do when I have this kind of sickness? What do I do? And I've tried this and that. And somebody's telling you, you need to go for this test so that we confirm the sickness before any medication. That's my summary of the answer. That point, that guy running for being, they started what's called the youth fund. And I was there with them. Right now, I'm going to work with the youth fund and correct something. When you tell guys, have a proposal, come 10 of you. We have money from the government. These are broke guys. Do you know the guys are hustling? Then, proposal it taken River Road, instant, cash hour. Then guys will rush to youth fund like a jet and present, and they must create, this is theirs. The moment they get the money, just go back to the guy and say, do you hear them again? Let me ask you, Betty. Those guys come, they are going to form a band of music. Do you hear what happened in the bands? After a short while, the bands collapsed. What happened? The guys didn't have a sync. But think about a situation where and you've assessed a guy who can play a bass guitar. And you keep that in a database. Guys who can sing, you keep that in a database. People can manage a band. People can do various aspects to make it work. So that with the touch of a button, you query Omolo from Siaya, Cheriot from Nandi Hills,
yes,
Koyet from Narok, and then for management of the band, you look for Kamau from Muranga, because you have like organize na manage do. Then, and with proven scientific result, do you know how far we could go as a country?